Teachers, has the dumb student ever turned out to be secretly smart? My 7th grade computer teacher, Mr. Delaney, was one of those guys who actually cared about kids. But he had this one student named Kevin who was driving him crazy. Kevin was in foster care and had already been to 3 different schools that year. His file said he had behavior problems, couldn't read at grade level, and hated authority. In class, Kevin would sit in the back with his hoodie up, barely looking at the screen. While other kids struggled with basic typing exercises, Kevin just stared at his phone under his desk. Mr. Delaney would ask him to follow along with the lesson, and Kevin would give him this blank stare like he had no clue what was happening. The kid seemed completely checked out. He'd turn in assignments that were half finished or not at all. When Mr. Delaney tried to help him one-on-one, Kevin would just shrug and say he didn't get it. His typing was slow, his mouse skills were terrible, and he acted like computers were from another planet. But here's the weird part. Sometimes Mr. Delaney would catch Kevin's screen for just a second, and it looked like he was doing something way more advanced than typing practice. Kevin would quickly minimize windows when teachers walked by, pretending he was working on the assignment. Mr. Delaney figured Kevin was just playing games or watching videos. The kid was clearly behind, probably had learning disabilities, and was just another foster kid who'd given up on school. That's what everyone thought. Then one Tuesday morning, everything changed. The school's entire Wi-Fi system crashed, like completely dead. Then their grading software went down. The attendance system stopped working. Even the smart boards wouldn't connect. The IT department was freaking out. They suspected someone had hacked into the network from inside the school. Teachers were panicking because they couldn't access gradebooks or take attendance. The principal was running around trying to figure out if this was some kind of cyber attack. While everyone was losing their minds, Kevin quietly walked up to Mr. Delaney's desk. He looked around to make sure no one was listening, then leaned in and said, "I think I know who did this." Mr. Delaney almost laughed. This kid who couldn't even complete a basic PowerPoint was claiming he could solve a network security breach, but something about Kevin's voice was different. He sounded serious, confident. "Okay," Mr. Delaney said. "Show me what you've got." Kevin sat down at Mr. Delaney's computer and started typing faster than he'd ever seen him move. Within seconds, Kevin had pulled up something called a virtual machine that he'd apparently built on the school's own system. The screen was filled with code and logs that looked like a foreign language to Mr. Delaney. Kevin pointed to specific lines of data. "See these packets? And these spoofed IP addresses? Someone's been bouncing signals through our network for weeks. They're not just messing around, they're stealing data." Then Kevin did something that made Mr. Delaney's jaw drop. He pulled up a complete log of suspicious activity going back a month. He'd been tracking someone who had been bragging about hacking for fun in another class. Kevin even knew exactly when the attacks happened and what methods the hacker was using. "You've been monitoring our network?" Mr. Delaney asked. Kevin nodded. "I got bored in class, started learning ethical hacking from YouTube videos. I've been running silent monitors for weeks because I wanted to catch this guy before he did real damage." The troubled foster kid who couldn't spell had been secretly protecting the entire school's computer system. He taught himself advanced cybersecurity while pretending to struggle with basic computer literacy. Mr. Delaney called the IT department immediately. When they saw Kevin's logs and virtual machine setup, they couldn't believe it. This 13-year-old had built security tools that were better than anything they had. Kevin helped them trace the breach to a student in 8th grade who thought hacking was cool. The kid had been stealing personal information and planned to sell it online. Kevin's monitoring had stopped what could have been a massive data theft. The IT department was so impressed, they offered Kevin a part-time job helping with network security. A local cybersecurity firm heard about the story and gave Kevin a scholarship to a coding boot camp. By the time he turned 16, he was already working professionally in cybersecurity.